parking today. That is the extra parking lot, full. This is the one we have. Also full on this side and full on this side. And let's see the time. It's 3:51. I have 9 minutes to park somehow. No parking, people parking on the road. What to do? Let's talk about parking in staggered shifts. As you saw in the video, I face parking issues every time I go to work. I'm sure many of you can relate. Parking lot congestion is a problem with many manufacturing companies, such as the one where I work. We have 3 shifts: morning, evening, and night shift. And the third shift comes in at 12, leaves at 8. First shift comes in at 8, leaves at 4, and second shift, which is when I work, you come in at 4, leave at 12. The only way for this system to work is if the parking lot is large enough to accommodate 2 full shifts. What do I mean by that? Well, third shift comes in at night, and they occupy most of the parking lot. In the first shift, they need to clock in at 8 a.m. So they come early, but they can't clock in early because they don't have enough spaces to park, and they won't get those spaces until third shift clocks out. The third shift can't clock out until 8 a.m. So basically, first shift gets stuck waiting for third shift to clock out and move their cars from the parking lot to open up spaces for them. This causes a lot of tardies and a lot of lost production time. Now, there are a few solutions to this problem. The obvious one is to increase the parking lot size, and another one is to implement alternative work schedules. Let's talk about increasing the size of the parking lot. There's obviously going to be a cost involved. If you look at some numbers here, it's about $50 per square foot of parking space. Each parking space is about 150 square feet, and that adds up to about $7,500 for one parking space. And in large cities, it's up to $20,000 per parking space. Our company needs about 50 extra parking spots, and that would cost $375,000. That's a lot of money that the company does not want to invest, and they would rather deal with the production hours. So this system isn't really ideal for our company. Now, if you look at alternative work schedules, there are 3 different types. First time is flex time. This is where the employees choose when they clock in, and they just have to make a certain amount of hours during a week. And this is good, but it doesn't really work because it's so unpredictable, and people might all want to clock in the morning so they don't have to work the night. It causes a lot of problems. The second option is compressed work week, and this is where each shift only works 4 days a week, 10 hours a day, but they don't all work on the same day. So like first shift would work on Mondays, and then second shift would work the second part of Mondays, and then third shift wouldn't work until Tuesday, so they would work Tuesday to Friday. This system is really biased because some shifts wouldn't want to work on Fridays, or they wouldn't want to work on Mondays, vice versa. This also causes problems. And then the third option, of course, is staggered shifts. This is where the employee assigns different time intervals for different shifts to arrive. Usually varies from 15 to 2 hours. The only problem with this one is that employees work less than 40 hours a week for the ideal system. But if you look at the options, it's probably the best option. For me, my example, like I said, my contact, we produce clean wipes, mop, disinfectants. We work 12, 8, and 4 p.m. 8-hour shifts. We have around 300 employees, but it's probably more now. We have 150 parking spaces, which is not enough because there needs to be enough space for not just the employees working the warehouse, but also spaces for people working the office. So a lot of problems we're having with parking. They've already added another parking lot, but that's still not enough.
So I've created a spreadsheet. You can see here I split each shift into halves. So you got the first half of third shift, second half of third shift, first half of first shift, second half of first shift, and so on. And I have each half of each shift coming in at different times in 15-minute intervals here. So third shift comes in at 11:45. The parking lot is half full. And then the second half of third shift comes in and the parking lot is full again. And then at 7:30, which is 7.75 hours later, third shift leaves, well, the first half, which makes the parking lot half full again. And then 15 minutes later, first shift 1 comes in, making the lot full again. And then 15 minutes later, the second half of third shift leaves at 8 a.m. So they work 12:15 to 8, giving them 775 hours per that week, or that day. And so basically each day, each half of each shift works 7.75 hours. If you add them all up for each day of the week that they worked, they add up to 38.75 hours for each half of each shift.
Alright, as you saw in the staggered shift example in the Excel spreadsheet, is this the best solution? Well, it's good because we get to work less. We don't have to work 40-hour weeks, but I mean at the same time we're getting paid less. Also, the company is going to be running 120 hours, but they will only be paying for 116 hours for the workers because each shift is only going to be working 38 plus hours. So the company's going to make a lot of money, and ideally it's going to solve the tardiness issue. When I asked Contact about this, what they said is they're going to just clear up some land and put some gravel down and add about 30 extra spaces. It's not really a good solution. Plus, this parking lot they want to implement is going to be kind of far from the building, so it's probably not going to solve the tardiness issue, but it will be cheap. Probably won't be more than $100,000, and it's not very innovative. The company is just scared to try something new. They're scared to be innovative. They're scared it's going to be too complicated. So what now? I think everybody just needs to be more open-minded, be more innovative, spread these great ideas, be creative, and we can solve all these problems together, and we can solve more problems than we create. This is the only way we can actually progress, and I think the best thing for us to do is to just try to come up with more new and innovative solutions to traffic problems.